What's up guys, it's Lewis One here, and today we'll be showing off the return of the Starfire protocol build and showing how good it is right now, and as it pretty much has returned back to the old days of how much damage you can do with it. So let's get into the video. So within Edge of Fate, we had some Zoics that had its sort of reworked or rebuffed to make them sort of better. Starfire Protocol was one of them, as previously, pre-nerf Starfire Protocol, the grenade energy you would get was not feasible, and basically the spammability of the Fusioneer build wasn't great. But obviously, when back in the day, it used to be a monster, and it would just be that you go to builds for Warlocks. Now it is returned back to its glory days, and it is actually better. Let me explain. So with Starfire Protocol, it has the same perks as obviously fusion grenades have additional charge and recharge from empowered weapon damage now, as before it would be you have to be in Empowered Rift, well, or even the new super, which we've got obviously in the final shape, Son of Flame. But now, if you have Radiant, you get your grenade energy back. And getting Radiant is fairly easy to do so, especially on solo warlocks where you can just pretty much indefinitely keep it up, because obviously with certain aspects and fragments within the build, it's fairly easy to do. And with actual season artifact mods as well, you can keep it up indefinitely, meaning you don't need a well or Empowering Rift or Son of Flame to just spam stuff. It is insane. You can just have a Healing Rift, basically have Radiant, and just spam it. It's phenomenal now. So let's go over the main aspects of this build, as there's actually a lot more to dive into now, as obviously with Edge of Fate we've got all the stat reworks as well. So stats obviously work differently now, as where you hit over 100%, you get stat bonuses for the archetype you focus into. For example, grenades, you go over 100, you get more damage, and obviously hit, get more grenade energy and less cooldown, etc, etc. For this build, what you need to focus on is getting your grenade stats as high as possible. For instance, I've got over 155, which will obviously do 35.5% more damage. Obviously, this can obviously change of the armor you get. Obviously, with the tier armor, you get more stats. So this is just a baseline what I've got for the time being, and having super high as possible as well, so that over 100. Other stats you can sort of focus into, but really you need to mainly focus on grenade and super, as obviously super you get more super energy back, so more supers, so if using Solar Flame for this build, and it will do more damage as well, so that's also that. So if you get both over 150, you can just do a lot more damage. Obviously the numbers I'll be showing you will just be from being at 100 super and at 155 grenades, so that'd be 35.5% more grenade damage, and then just literally like 1% more damage from super itself. So let's go into the actual aspects of fragments we're using for this build, as we'll be on solo warlock, so we'll be using the following aspects. Helium, activating your class ability, summons a solar mortar, lobs flaming projectiles at distant targets damaged by the mortar are scorched. This is just great, as this was just tick damage, and also it will cause ignitions, which is even more damage. It's just basically just doing even more damage. It's great. And then touch of flame. Obviously we're doing this for the fusion grenade bit, which means a fusion grenade explodes twice. Enough said, realistically, it's great and does more damage for your fusion grenades. And obviously for the grenades itself, using fusion grenades, enough said really, and they're great. They do scorching as well when you lob it at targets, so more scorching, more damage, etc, etc. And then for melees, you can go either with Celestial Flare Fire, I should say, or Incinerator Snap. Incinerator Snap seems to be the best one, as it's just great for more mobbing sort of potential, as you can just clear ads. It's great for that. So let's go over the fragments for this build. So we're going to use Ember of Resolve. Solo Grenade, Final Blows, Cure You. Cure is basically a way of saying just get your health back. Great for that. So we'll be having loads of nades anyway, so it's just great for mobbing for that. Ember Ashes. You apply more scorch stacks to your targets, meaning the more you apply, the more faster the ignition. So the more they explode and do the big damage as well from it. It's great. Ember Torches. Power melee attacks against combatants makes you and nearby allies radiant. This is where to get radiant for this build with your melee. But obviously there's other ways to build. We'll get touching that later. And then Ember of Earthream. Solo weapon or ability final blows extend the duration of restoration and radiant effects applied to you. Obviously we'll just use radiant, so solo weapons and abilities will just keep that radiant active. This is great for mobbing, as I say, with obviously fusion nades, will just annihilate a group of enemies or just one single enemy. And same with Incinerate Snap, will great for just like a bunch of enemies. So basically you have radiant for indefinitely, and it's just pure bliss. And then obviously the super uses Son of Flame. You can use well, obviously that's more if you need it for counters really, that's more well based, but Son of Flame is still the best option, as it will make you do more damage, and it's just great as obviously you get more improved. You get supercharged melee attacks and supercharged sort of like grenades as well, do scorching, just more damage. It's just brilliant. So let's go into the seasonal artifact mods you've been using this for this build, and mainly go over the primary ones that I would say definitely use, as there's obviously ones that be filler which you don't need to have. So for the third column, go with Fever and Chill. We're mainly doing this bit for the rapid precision hits with solo weapons grants radiant. This is your other way of getting radiance build, so if you lose it and don't have your melee up, you can just hit your targets with precision hits and you'll get that. It does take a little bit to get this procced, so make sure you do it more of a beefier mob to get it procced, but yeah, we're mainly just having this to get radiant, and it's great for that. Refresh threads, picking up elemental pickup, so the fire spirits will be able to just get his ability charge for the least charge ability, just great for just overall if you need to get abilities back up faster. It's great for that. Cauterized Darkness, stasis strand debuff non-boss combatants take increased soul damage from all sources. It's great if your other teammates are running stasis strand sort of builds and they're applying it to mobs. Just great for clearing stuff out very fast with this. Shoulder to shoulder, dealing sustained precision damage against combatants while near 2 or more allies, grants you damage resistance, makes you more tanky, and makes you less viable of dying in DPS phases. Elemental Coalescence, defeating targets has a chance to create an elemental pickup matching your quick super element. This is obviously for the previous one being Refresh Threads. Great combination of that. And then Radiant Shrapnel, dealing sustained weapon damage while radiant or defeating a scorch button with a weapon causes attacks to reach a solo projectile that deals damage and scorch on impact. This is very good, like say for mobbing as well, as it will just like help clear ads faster. And obviously if you're on the boss, that it's got mobs around it, great for that, as it makes it more reliable of mobs not killing you or downing someone whilst doing damage phase. It's brilliant for that. And then Shield Crush, we're mainly looking at the while you are amplified or radiant, your grenades recharge faster and deals increased damage, meaning fusion grenades do more damage. That is perfect for this build, and it just means you're just doing more damage overall for you, and it will be helpful for your teammates as well if needing a clutch. So let's go over weapons sort of the build. Now this is a bit more what you have sort of type of thing, as realistically you want to basically do a lot of damage to get your fusion nades back faster. So anything that does like damage over time is a good one, as you're doing tick damage, stuff like that. But this is what I'm using. Obviously, if you got those weapons, great, use those. If not, use what's the best for just doing a lot of damage realistically, and just getting your fusion rates up faster. I would say for your energy weapon, you need at least a solo weapon. That's a must-have, as that will apply your obviously radiance with your precision hits. That's what you must have for that slot. The other slots can be whatever's best in slot for you. So yeah, but for the weapons I'm using, and I'll show you in testing for damage, I'm using obviously Multimax CCX with obviously kinetic tremors, Lord of Wolves, as it's still very good for damage, and then Outrageous Fortune with obviously Bait and Switch and Envious Arsenal. This is just great for obviously damage swapping, as you'll see in damage testing, or see the background while making this video. And yeah, it's the damage you can output with this overall is insane, and in one testing got over like 80k for one person. Obviously damage numbers are a lot different in Age of Fate, as we're used to having like millions of damage. That's not the case now, so yeah. But yeah, that's sort of like an explanation and showing you what Starfire Protocol can do now, and overall is a very meta build now, and just damage, it's just absolutely wonderful, and it's just annihilates everything. Starfire Protocol is back, and it's even better than ever in Age of Fate. So yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please like and subscribe. But for now, thanks for watching, and see you guys next time.